Hello and welcome back. Hello, Granny. Oh,
Hello.
I've done the same thing again. So this is why we can't have human hands. I can't work out what's going on. So what episode are we up to now, Granny? Is it number 8 or 7? Number 8.
Number 8.
Oh, geez, I love the number 8 for some reason. I reckon we should make every episode number 8 after this, I think.
You could do 8.1, 8.2.
That's exactly right. We'll just have a chapter 8 and we'll go from there.
Yes.
So, like last week, we're rolling off the back of our live that we just had. We had our second accountability hour. Wasn't really much accountability going on in that hour.
There wasn't.
A lot of
what happened to it?
I don't know. Some old lady derailed it, I think.
Don't know who that was.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm thinking a bit different today. I'm thinking we might just talk about, international versus Australia. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be fun, actually. Yeah. Let's see what we get and they don't, and vice versa.
That's exactly right. So originally we were going to talk a bit about full-time versus part-time, but I think we'll probably leave that to next week's topic. But we'll talk a bit about what we see in Australia and international. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was good. But did you
need an international person to talk to?
No, I don't think so. We don't need any international people. We'll just talk about ourselves.
So, talking of international, I'll just have to do a little bit of show and tell today. So this is my little book that I picked up in the Ogan Salvos for 20 cents because they had it in the kids section. They're selling books for $5 for $1. So I picked it up and it's a science fiction book. It's in absolutely beautiful condition. And I comped it yesterday and it was going for around about $120. I think the last one sold for $105. So I listed mine for $120 in the afternoon and it sold about 1:45 this morning and it is going off to Florida.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, that's our international piece done for the day. So we can wrap up this podcast now.
Yeah. And hey, guess what though? Miracle of miracles. Full price was paid plus postage. No best offers, no coupons, no discounts. That's probably hasn't happened for a while.
On the background of that, so if you're not aware, I don't know if Grumpy Granny is, but international buyers can't apply coupons. So it's only best offers. So if you've got a coupon in your store, you'll never see an international buyer use one unless you send it to them directly. I'm not too sure about that, but coupons don't work. Coupons don't work for international. So if you've got a store-wide coupon, they won't be able to utilize it. They'll be able to still use the markdown. So that's why a lot of people will say that the sales markdown will probably be better, but the coupon definitely doesn't come across. But when I was digging around cleaning up in the garage, look what I found. I found something from I don't know.
Chubba Chups.
I don't know. But something's going on. He's ran away.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, whilst I'm trying to stall for time, look who we've got in the background.
There's John over on the couch. Hello, John.
That's right. That's exactly right. All right, so we'll shake the Chubba Chups again, see if we can attract anyone with the Chubba Chups.
Maybe.
Oh, hang on. Here he goes.
Hang on.
Who's this?
The Chubba Chup man.
That's right. That's exactly.
You'll have to change your name.
I can't stay away from Chubba Chups. I just can't.
I know. I just had to say. Well, I was going to bring you on about 20 seconds ago, but you decided to run out the back door.
Sorry about that. I had to turn off the heater. It's getting a bit warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Get a bit heated over the Chubba Chups.
So I don't think it would have been very good viewing to have an empty chair there and have people think actually, they've done something to you. But so welcome back, Blake.
Thank you very much. Good to be back.
So
maybe too many Chubba Chups. You've got too much sugar in your system, Blake.
Yeah, well, I don't get much sugar anymore, being full carnivore now. So I'm, no sugar apart from the Chubba Chups.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, that's good. Chubba Chups is a good source of sugar anyway, so that's good.
Yeah, give you a bit of a buzz.
I don't know if you heard Granny and I talking about, mate. So it's going to talk a bit about Australia, versus international. So obviously the differences between what we see here in Australia versus what we see, what other resellers might see overseas. Because you're in America, aren't you, mate?
I am. Yeah, I'm over in America. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably just offended everyone then. Sorry, everyone.
We've gone down the cheap route. We couldn't get any international guests, so I don't know. But
can you say y'all?
Hey y'all.
And you've got to say appreciate you. Instead of saying see ya, you go appreciate you.
Oh, no, I'm too Australian for that.
I suppose to entice to Blake to continue with his American accent. I got you some of these, mate.
Oh,
apparently
Tim Tam.
Americans love these. Oh, here we go. What's this?
Oh, hang on. Oh,
an American's popped up. Look at that.
How y'all doing?
You shake the Tim Tam packet around and look what happens.
look what happens. They're magic Tim Tams.
That's right. That's exactly
just
right.
like the genie on the advert for them.
Yeah. I think we should have rehearsed it now. We should have rehearsed it a bit.
Yeah. Have you ever had Tim Tams before, Mary?
Actually, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, they were.
I was going to say I'll arrange for those to be sent to you, but if you already had them, I won't send them over. I don't want to.
I won't say no.
What about if we sent you some Vegemite? Would you eat that? Have you heard of Vegemite?
Yes, I have never. I know it's something I used to have actually back about 10, 20 years ago. It was given to me, and it's like it's almost like a beef. It reminds me of beef bouillon, the old beef bouillons. What it reminds me
it's
of.
made out of, I don't think anymore, but it used to be made out of beef extract. Yeah, and we eat it on toast.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Mm.
My mom would use it. Actually, my mother, she's from Alabama, so yeah, the y'all comes out real easy. And she would mix it into like beef.
Like a few lessons on the y'all.
It's okay. I don't understand my mother half the time. So they're in the South, they're like, yeah, y'all know, y'all come back now, anytime. Like what?
When am I coming back? Yeah, so that's all right. Send me a message after the live, and I'll have them sent out to you if I don't eat them first. But yeah, no,
the puppy dog might eat them first.
Yeah. Oh well, he's being a bit of a pain at the moment. So, like because he's trying to gnaw on John's legs, so I have to keep him away from that. I don't know. Well, John's being a bit uncharacteristically quiet today. He's normally full of beans and talking 100 miles an hour. But,
perhaps we wore him out in the live stream.
Yeah, it could have been. Hopefully that's the case. Anyway, Mary, 365 Vintage Hunter. Obviously, these eyes aren't just painted and I can read. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a full-time. I own a business full-time, and also I'm a full-time reseller and YouTuber. Mm-hmm. So I started selling about 10 years ago on Etsy. And then I started with eBay probably about a year ago. I started with eBay, and now I'm on with Victorian. And I sell everything from clothing, shoes, hard goods, books. I love ephemera. It's one of my favorite things. And I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I love the history behind most of my items that I sell, because I do a lot of vintage. Probably 90% of my items are vintage.
What about children? Do you sell them?
I haven't sold. Wow, I own a trucking company. That's probably not a good answer.
We've just got. The reason why I asked for it is we've got another reseller over here, Chris Furlong.
No, I don't sell children. Just little aliens. They're green with ears. I'm good.
Well, I don't know. Well, Chris Furlong, he's an Australian YouTuber over here, and he has a program at the moment. You can change kids over for backpacks.
Oh.
I don't know. That's quite the idea.
Oh, isn't it?
No.
Okay. Maybe I have to revisit it. But I always thought that if you handed him kids, you get a backpack for free.
Yeah, no, not quite. No.
Oh, okay. It's a charity, so backpack for kids. Maybe I've misunderstood what the exchange rate
for
is.
Children during lunch.
Yeah.
That's what the backpack is.
So the actual charity is, so it's for children that have been displaced from their home, and quite often when they get removed, they don't get to take anything with them of their personal items, or their personal items actually might not be in condition that they can be taken with them, or they do get taken with them, but they have to be thrown out. And I have personal knowledge of that one. But so the charity is Backpack for VIC Kids. And what they do is when the children are removed, they provide them with these backpacks, which have got quite a good value, and they have lots of personal items in them. So even if they get moved from one place to another, they've got something that belongs to them, and it'll have all the essential items in it that they need, and some extra things like toys and stuff as well. So yeah, it's great.
We have a backpack program here, but ours is basically for kids.
And
for like,
what happened?
That's all right. She just looks like that occasionally. She just freezes.
Did you lose me?
That's good.
We have again.
That's right. That's right. See, yeah, it's a bit of nightmare fuel, but that's all right.
Our backpack program here to not embarrass children, for families who can't afford to buy lunches for their kids and stuff like that. I mean, for years up until about 1990, kids could get free lunches, but unfortunately they changed that. So to not embarrass the kids at school, we have the backpack program where the teachers will go in, certain teachers, and put lunches into all of these backpacks of kids that they know need it. So that's the reason why I said lunch. I didn't realize. I like yours. It's much better. But yeah, we that's what our backpack program is here too. So I just think it's great. Anytime we can help out children, it's wonderful.
Agreed.
Well, I better take those kids back to their houses if I'm not going to get backpacks for them.
You can still try.
That's all right.
With his white van.
That's all right. Surprisingly, how fast they run after you when you have the ice cream music play.
They'll jump in like I did when you shook your Chupa Chups.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's surprisingly how quick someone comes running for Chupa Chups. Yeah, like kids, 23-year-old men. Hey, whatever goes.
Don't discriminate.
So whereabouts are you from in America, Mary?
I'm out in Minnesota. Actually, a lot of people think I'm over by the city when I say Minnesota, but I'm on the South Dakota border, which is really quiet. I live in a very small town. It takes me about an hour to travel anywhere to go to certain places. We do have like the smaller thrift stores here also. But the thing is, it's very quiet here. I mean, I have my windows open. You hear nothing except, crickets. So it makes it nice. But I love where we live. It's in the Midwest. So I have a kind of a connection to all different states I can go to where I'm located. So I can go to South Dakota, North Dakota to go and source different items and to do different content for my YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I'm a bit different here. Sorry, Granny. I'm a bit different here. So if I open my windows, all the ocean water would flow in. So I can't open my windows, unfortunately.
You're complaining, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's quite hard to run a YouTube channel at the bottom of the ocean.
I just have to wait.
Yeah, because what I was going to say then when you were talking about the different platforms, it seems to me that it's probably a bigger thing in America to cross-list.
Yeah, I use List Perfectly. I use List Perfectly with it. I know there's a couple other ones like Vendoo and stuff. I like List Perfectly because if I'm listing like all my stuff on Etsy, I had like when I switched from Etsy to eBay, I had over 800 items. So I'm going, ooh, List Perfectly, click, click. And it turned it right over to eBay. And I'm going, that is so much easier than going.
Yes, we don't have that here.
We've only got one cross-listing platform that I know of, and that's the one that I use is Crosslist Magic. That's it. But you still have to go to every individual one and still put in the details and stuff. But it just transfers the photo and the titles, the description. But we don't have anything like Vendoo or List Perfectly, unfortunately.
I think I've heard from like Vendoo and List Perfectly sponsor YouTubers over here. Like we're dying for a donut sponsor, but we can't get one of them either, can we?
No, we try very hard to get donuts.
Well, I'm not sponsored, okay? I pay them a lot of money a month.
Well, I guess
we pay a lot of money for donuts as well. That's right. We pay a lot of money for donuts as well. We don't get them for free either.
No doubt.
No,
it's a good cross-listing program. A lot of people like Vendoo because they don't want to go into so when you're cross-listing, I don't actually like to cross-list the same item on different venues, and that's just me because I look at it like this. I'm going, I don't want to have to tell a customer that's buying the same time on Etsy is eBay or whoever paid the most. It's like I always keep the prices the same. But I'm going, that's just too much for me. I would rather sell different items that I know that sell. Like I do a lot of artisan type jewelry or vintage jewelry on Etsy. And then eBay, I keep a lot of my glass and pottery over in that direction. Yeah.
So you would obviously have a lot of fun shipping them because you do a lot of breakable stuff with your eBay stuff.
Let's just put it this way. I put a lot of money in bubble wrap.
Yeah, because I did do some sort of ceramics vintage sort of ceramic plates when I was doing the everything at the start. And then I had one day where I had to ship 36 items, and I very sillily left those 2 things till last, and they needed to be double boxed, and they were really, And I was just never again. So I don't do breakables anymore.
I prefer to send them broken, so there's no upset.
There's a lot of resellers like that.
Sold as is.
Rolls. That's exactly right. No returns, broken on impact.
Yeah.
But I suppose, Mary, with my understanding, watching the 2 or 3 YouTubers from America, I don't think there's that many reselling YouTube channels in America. But I think that, list perfectly, you have to end the listing yourself. Is that correct? Like where the other ones?
Yes, you have to end the listing yourself. Vendoo, they'll, and I honestly, I don't trust a computer when it comes down to it. To me, I want to see that it's ended because I have literally had things sell even on eBay or even on Etsy, and all of a sudden it's relisted again, and somebody will buy it. So it got relisted, and I'm like,
and I'm glad you touched on that, because this is the line of the questioning I was going with, is that, and it might be because I've got 9 brains, but why don't List Perfectly just incorporate that feature into their thing? Because a lot of people, a lot of the YouTubers that I watch keep constantly saying, hey, I use this program, because they'll end the item once it sells on a platform. But List Perfectly, they always whinge that they have to cancel it manually. It just seems to me it's a no-brain thing that List Perfectly would incorporate it into the system.
I think they're being smart with the way that they've done stuff. And I have saw even like whatnot.com, which is a online phone app for auctioning. And I've noticed that they've done, when they tried to jump in, everything got shut down really quick because they weren't ready for it. Tech wasn't ready for it. And I think with List Perfectly, they're doing it the way they should, slowly. It's kind of like a company. When you see companies grow really quick, at some point that's going to have to level off, and either it'll plummet or it'll come back gently, as long as it's been done correctly. And
that's kind of like our YouTube channel, Granny. We're almost seeing 250 subscribers. It's going to plummet to 106 in a minute.
So how many are we at the moment, Octo?
239. But that's not. Stop interrupting the poor lady.
Okay.
She's our guest.
So that's only 11 more people, and we'll do a Q&A live stream.
That's right. Yeah.
Please
actually, I thought you already hit 250.
No. We lied to you to get you on here.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you keep having me on as a guest, you'll probably lose half your subscribers.
They haven't ran away from Granny yet, so I don't think you've got much of a chance.
I
So what you're saying again, Mary? What were you saying, Mary, before this old lady rudely interrupted you? No. And we'll talk about my chauvinistic behaviours soon.
Yes, you're a misogynist, apparently.
Yes.
So I've heard.
Yeah, misogynist.
Yeah, misogynist. That's a new word. We like that.
Well,
yes.
I wouldn't go saying that too loudly.
I think I'll keep that one. I think I'll keep that word.
You're still interrupting the poor lady. Jeez, I have to put you in timeout in a minute.
So I haven't laughed this much in a long time. Thank you. Liz perfectly did it correctly. So it's like building a house. If you don't do the foundation properly, everything's going to collapse at some point. So Liz perfectly, I think, is doing things correctly. They're doing it slowly, and you can list to more venues and more online, like you can go Shopify, things like that, which Vendoo doesn't have that. Vendoo only has certain ones, and it's like, and that's, and there's always a glitch. With List Perfectly, I mean, they had glitches in the beginning when they first started. I used them, and I'm like, I went to go list and trade everything over, and all of a sudden, all my listings that I had just deleted off of Etsy because I thought they were there were just like totally deleted. And I'm going, wow.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Pull all of those items and take pictures again. I'm going,
yeah. Do you not find it quite a lot of extra work having to go to the different platforms though? Like,
well, you know what? It's like each one is. I mean, eBay has been going through different issues with it's. I think that's with any company, even with companies. I walked away from Etsy a while back, and that's the reason why I switched over to eBay. Is because Etsy had it where you had no customer service, and to me, customer service is what makes a company grow, and it makes what it is. They've kind of changed their characteristics, and I've gone back to them. And I mean, I've always done really well with Etsy, and because of what I sell. But I've tried the other forms because, one, you kind of get your name out there more. And as a YouTuber, it's like you're even out there, because some people just like to shop on Mercari. Some people only go to eBay. Some people only go to, Etsy or, Poshmark and stuff like that. And so I figured, well, I'll just kind of spread myself around a little bit and see what happens.
I suppose that's a difference for us, isn't it, guys? Because like a lot of those other platforms aren't on that bigger level that,
they're not as developed as they are in the US. So we don't have Mercari at all. Because I think, Blake, you sell on Poshmark. Do you?
I'll sell a fair bit on Poshmark. Yeah. And they're starting to catch up to what it is in the US. Like with the live auctions and stuff like that, they've started to implement just the last couple of weeks. But yeah, we don't have Whatnot. We don't have Mercari and stuff like that. It's pretty much Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, and eBay. And we still have Etsy, I think. But
I've seen Blake's closet. He comes out in a pretty dress occasionally. So going out to check out his.
I
his
try
closet.
on everything I sell. So dresses and all that stuff.
I was going to say we will be talking about your Ballarat brother and soon enough, and him trying everything on.
Poshmark's the one where you have to share your closet, isn't it, Blake? To get
you
traction.
do. There is programs and stuff like bots and stuff that can do it for you. But I prefer just to do it myself. I just like having that little bit of extra control, and I don't want to. I don't know if they do, but I don't want to get banned from using bots or shadow banned or anything like that. So I'd prefer just to click a button, share it to all my followers, and then just leave it for an hour or so and do it again just while I'm listing. It's just easier that way.
Yeah, that's right. No, I don't know if you've seen our previous episodes, Mary, because obviously we're quite world renowned with being 239 subscribers.
I watched you.
But a lot of what we're finding, Grumpy Granny and I think Blake and I spoke about this previously as well, is that we as a reselling community are quite small, very minute compared to the US and the UK. But a lot of our information that we're digesting is from US resellers, right? So basically your Daily Refinements, your Commonwealth Picker, and all those different people. So when they say that this works for them, that works for them, a lot of our reselling community down here just takes it as gospel and runs and rolls with it, all those different things. So I personally think that, because we know with beyond reasonable doubt that Australia's a testing ground, right? So we get a lot of things before they roll out to the wider eBay market. So I kind of think we're running on a different algorithm here. We have a lot of issues that that you don't have in America, and you have a lot of issues over there that we don't necessarily see over here. Because I think and I've kind of lost my train of thought where I'm going, but I think that we take a lot from, I suppose, from as Australian resellers, we take a lot from the US. We just look towards
with how
them.
to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But it might not actually be. Well, it might not actually apply to us if we are running on a different algorithm. Yeah.
That's something that.
That's something I learned from when the first time that Grumpy Granny and I met on Kristen's.
We apologize for that.
Yeah.
she invites herself to everything all the time. It's embarrassing.
I think you guys have it where I believe you said with like eBay, you guys don't have the same fees that we do. You guys run on a different algorithm with that type of stuff, and you're able to list more on your, because a lot of new eBayers here, they're only allowed like 250, I believe it was in the beginning. Now with me, because I've been reselling for so long, they immediately bumped me up because they were able to look at my other platforms. So they bumped me up very quickly. And, I just, with you guys can list how many?
250,000 for free.
So we're very similar to you, right, with America. When you open up a new account, you only have like a limit of 100 at the start. So, and they freeze our payments. So we don't actually get paid for about 3 weeks after the item's been delivered, I don't think.
They hold the payments to ensure that your first few sales, that the buyer gets it and gets it as it should be, that there's no returns, because you actually haven't proven yourself as a seller. It's their way of making sure that they're going to get the money for the fees and they can refund the buyer if necessary.
Yeah,
See, I didn't have that when I came on. Well, I bought something on eBay. I think it was like 2 years prior to actually going to eBay. And so they looked at that as me being a member. So not as a reseller, but just as a member.
So, like, a case in point, right? So I've got another store, and a lot of Australians have multiple stores. I'm not too sure if Blake does, but I know John, the reseller, does, which is behind me over there. He's got multiple stores, but
he's worked hard.
That's right.
I think he's
worked
holding up
himself to the
6
bone.
fingers.
Yeah, he's worked himself to the bone. But
God.
if you create a new account over here, even if you've got an established account, like you said, that you're still restricted to those limits. What a lot of people don't realize is that, this is Australian resellers that they don't realize is that you can get onto eBay chat and actually have it linked to your other store. So then, that store will open up and you have your higher restrictions on that. I'm not too sure if it's the same in the States, but that's one way we get around it, because they won't actually look at previous history. So like you're saying, if you've been on eBay as a buyer for the last 2 or 3 years, if you started up at the selling side of it, they will still put the restrictions on you. You'll have 100 for a month for the next 3 months or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, I never noticed that, because as soon as one of the things I noticed when I became one was I got stopped. I'm going, whoa, wait a minute. So I called eBay, because you can call them and you still can, and talk to somebody in Colombia. And I was there and talking to them, and they boosted me up because I had been a member with eBay for a while. So I guess it has some advantages to it. Plus, you let them know, look, I've been with eBay or Etsy for, this amount of years, and they know that you have a good rapport. So they were pretty good with me. I honestly didn't have any problems. They boosted me up to 750 after I hit that one mark. And they boosted me up, and I said, this is not enough. So I'm at, right now, at the top I want is 2,500. I really don't want to go higher than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like Granny was saying, is that I think my listing count on one of my accounts is infinite, so I can get as many listings as I want. And the other one's capped at 250,000. We don't have insertion fees either. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, if I can't get backpacks, I'll have to just put them on eBay, I think. But we don't have any insertion fees, and we haven't had insertion fees for a very long time. I don't think, from memory, going on probably 10 plus years. So where previously the YouTubers in the States were saying that they're paying insertion fees for every listing they're doing previously, we didn't have any insertion fees. So
I think another thing is, I think you guys have too. You guys have to pay a fee for scheduling listings as well. Is that something?
That's what I was about to ask you. I'm like, do you guys have to pay? Like with us, it's kind of like we get blackmailed. It's like, here, if you want your item to be seen, here's an ad. So not only are we paying a percentage for it to be sold and to list it, but and they put their own little percentage in there. It's like, you should put 12% on this to be sold. And I'm going, no.
Because
it'll still be pushed out there in the algorithm.
Because you guys, the advanced promotion thing, you haven't had that for very long, have you, over there?
Oh, we've had it for a while. It's a lot of us haven't used it. Now we realize that that's the only way to get out there is to actually use that. Yeah.
So we've got 3 different levels of promotion over here. We've got the standard, which is like you said, that's 7.8% or the 12%, whatever you do from there. We've got advanced, which is price per click. So every time they click, there might be 15 cents a click. Then we've got another one, off-site ads, where it comes up in Google, then you pay for those coming through as well. So if you haven't got that one yet, guess what? You're coming down the road.
Yeah.
I've learned to put that and put the whole store on like sales and sit there and give it's just like, and then when you even put it on sale, they're like, oh, but this is one with the 2% add to it. And then when you look at your algorithm, it's like, how many how did they find your store? And they found it through me, through YouTube. not through Google, not through them, but I'm still paying them 2%. So I go whatever, it's as long as the item gets sold and it gets out the door, I'm good.
It's almost become like a necessary evil.
Well, I mean, you have to accept that it's part of the cost of having a store on eBay. But then, I always look at it and think, well, they're providing me with the platform to sell my things on. I don't have to have a brick and mortar store, and I don't have to pay, extra electricity and phone and, all those sort of things as I did. So, I mean, it's still a lot cheaper than that, but it's certainly, even the 18 months I've been on, it's costing a lot more to sell an item now than it did when I started.
But you're very right about the brick and mortar. I mean, and I'm like you. It's, I had a brick and mortar.
So you're in a nursing home as well?
No, this is a psych ward.
Oh, okay. I think a lot of people say that I should be in a psych ward for some reason. I can't look at it.
I wonder why.
My medication's coming in a little bit. If I start twitching, you'll know why. But with my brick and mortar here in the United States, I don't know how it is over there to have a brick and mortar. But Nelly, I mean, your insurance is outrageous because you have to make sure you are so covered on anything with my slips and falls, anything else, your electric bill, heating bill, keeping everything cooled there, plus, getting all your items, getting them in, it was just, and then trying to advertise out, a lot of my stuff was word of mouth, which was great, but then you're paying to be on the radio, paying to have an advertisement on a billboard. I mean, the overhead was outrageous. I mean, I originally opened my brick and mortar actually to help farmers because they didn't have a lot and they were being hit really hard. So, and then also my brick and mortar supported the Vietnam Veterans Association.
Nice.
So,
that's great. Yeah,
it's like all proceeds went to them. But having that brick and mortar, you get a whole feel of going, you know what, that 2% isn't that bad compared to paying almost $2,000 a month for a building.
Exactly. Yeah. And as much as we like to complain about the fees, but that it's a part of doing business.
We can't complain too much. Like, everyone's welcome to go and try and start their own website, and good luck reaching the same amount of people as eBay. Like, it's not going to happen unless you put in a lot of work. Like,
that's exactly right. So I roll off the rule of thumb of 20%, right? So when I look at things, if what we call an op shop, or you call a thrift store, or or if I'm sourcing locally, whatever it is, I take 20% off straight off the price I'm looking at. Then try and reverse engineer from that perspective. So I think you need to be more proactive and more smart about how you source, and that's a lot of comes across for those people as well. But the ones that I find that complain, for lack of a better word, are the ones that they just jump on Facebook Marketplace. They don't do any research. They just go buy $30 pairs of jeans from the op shop or from the thrift store. Then they can't sell it for they're at a loss. It might be the same in America, but we find a very big influx of new resellers around the January, February timeframe because after the holidays, and by maybe April, May, they're all gone. They basically just disappear off the face of the earth because they don't realize how difficult it is. They don't realize how much work goes into it. They don't realize that that eBay does take a cut of the sale price, because we find in Facebook groups people are like, I can't believe that eBay had the audacity to take 10% or 20% fees. These people are completely oblivious to these things before even selling it.
I mean, I love Etsy because Etsy actually goes on TV and advertises for us here.
Oh, wow.
It's expensive. People don't realize how expensive it is to get a spot. Unless you're doing it at 2:30 in the morning here and you're a PDS. That's the only place it's going to be seen for anything under $5,000. And you're talking about less than a minute. Getting a video out there. People don't realize that they pay a lot of money out there for us and to actually push our items and push the different things out there. And any type of business, you have a slump. Like I said, I own a trucking company too. So during certain times of the year, it gets slow. And, we get slow. And that's like with eBay and Etsy and Poshmark and any of the other forums, you have a slow point, especially during like the summer times. I mean, you get the kids out, everything else. You'll have like a slow, area. And then right before school goes back in, I don't know when you guys have school go back in, but it's like, that's when the flux goes up and then you're looking at Christmas, everything else. And that's when, if you're smart, that's when you start really pushing and selling your items, because that's what people are doing. They're looking for items that are cheaper than what they would buy in the store. They're looking for a good quality item. They want it clean. I see a lot of different people out there, and they sell dirty items, and I'm going, I don't want that in my house.
Blake tells me there's a market for dirty items.
Yeah. Well, I hear there's a bit of a market for dirty shoes, but
That's right. But I suppose going back to the television spot, right? Like in Australia, I find that what we class as free to air, right, which would probably be like similar to your PBS, I suppose, is that. Do you find that that's a dying form? In Australia, a lot of the people that I speak to is that they're on Netflix, they're on Disney Plus, they're all on these different streaming channels. They're not actually watching, free to air TV, which has got the commercials on there. So they wouldn't really be advertising that perspective or in that space. Is that the same in the States where that medium's dying, or?
So like I have internet TV. So I've got the whole list, like YouTube, TV, I have Netflix, everything else. There's a lot of people switching over to it, but a lot of people that are over, and a good high percentage of people buying like vintage items are actually over 55. Most of them are. Now we got the younger group actually grabbing hold of them, which is I love, which is lovely. So maybe not so much with them. Then that's where YouTube comes in an advantage to have, is because YouTube, you're able to actually advertise out what you have. And you have so many resellers over here, especially in America, that are showing all these different items, or taking people shopping like I do. Here's all the different items that are selling. One of the platforms I use to verify something being sold is actually WorthPoint. Anybody can ask a price on something, but what did it sell for? And I'll look back 20 years. It's like, okay, this is what it sold for back then. But I noticed with the TV here, I don't know how it is so much there, but a lot of people, they have regular, like the TV. So they're, every once in a while they'll see Etsy. Like I've been into like the hotels when I have to go for treatments and stuff. And I'll see Etsy come across, and I'm going, I wish eBay would do that.
So what you're saying is the old people in America aren't sponging off their kids for Netflix?
No, my son's doing that one.
So Nena and Poppy Octopus, they sponge off me, which means that they use my login and use my Netflix and Disney Plus. But even from that generation, they're not watching much TV. So like I said, I don't know if it's widespread in Australia, but I kind of find that a lot of people are moving to that on-demand system opposed to actually being.
I don't even have mine connected.
It's really expensive over here. I don't know what you guys pay for over there, but like having internet TV, having the smart TVs, is so much cheaper. Otherwise, you're looking at over $200 something a month. And like my mother and stuff, I let her ride on mine, and because I got her to get internet TV because it's cheaper. So no, unless you're watching, like they have like they call the free channels, and it'll show the different commercial and advertisements for Etsy. Which is, so it is good. They do have some areas for it. But a lot of people just go to Netflix and stuff. I don't watch a lot of TV. If I don't have YouTube in the background.
We have a sharing system in my family. So my son has Disney and Prime, and so he gives me that. And then I pay for Stan, and I give that to my daughter as well, and then she pays for another one, and I get the login for that. So we have quite a few, but everyone only pays for one. Works out well.
So I'm the opposite. I get stuck with everything and having to give.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I've got it all.
But I suppose, do you think that it's going to get to the point where, like Etsy and not so much eBay, because eBay is obviously dragging the chain here, they're going to start doing promotions inside of Netflix TV shows? Start that subliminal messaging through those shows that don't use commercial television, for example, like for commercials and stuff.
Well, I think at some point it might, because the simple fact that they see now more and more people are coming on at all different ages. I mean, coming on and becoming YouTubers who are resellers. And we're showing the items out there. We're telling you where they're at, how much, what we're going to sell it for, what it's worth. So they already have it. We're advertising more the price of an item and what its value is probably better than actually eBay can. I mean, eBay, I had, it was actually funny because eBay, it doesn't go on Google, and my store wound up on one of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, been there for 9 years. There's a first. And, I think it's just going to get to a point where everything is going to be, because there's ads on like YouTube and stuff. And I have a feeling that things are going to start coming through YouTube more than any other place, because people of all ages are watching YouTube now. Yeah,
exactly.
My mother
That's all I watch.
So you've got right from the kids right through to, the older people. So,
Great. Grumpy Granny's a bit of a late bloomer when it came to YouTube.
I am.
I am too. I can't say anything. It took me a while.
She's got her own cult following as well. Like, all the people in the chat asked me how Grumpy Granny's going. It's like, this is not the Grumpy Granny show. Move on.
Mine are blind and on Dramamine, so don't feel bad.
You see it in all the live streams. Everyone's like, "Hi, Granny, and sometimes me and Octo are just so like, "Hi, we're here too." Hello.
Right.
Well, I did get into trouble on John the Reseller's channel because he does a listing live stream where you're meant to work listing for 30 minutes and then you do 10 minutes of chat, right? And I happened to come into that halfway through the listing section when you're meant to be quiet. And I just typed in, hello, boys and girls. And so everybody started answering me then, and I disrupted the whole workflow. And yes, John did give me a little bit of stick for that one because I disrupted everyone, but
he hasn't been the same since.
Yeah,
no, he hasn't.
He's lost it. I can see.
No, He's got a bone to pick with you, Granny.
Oh, why? What? Oh, ha 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 ha.
He's got no heart.
Very funny.
No, that's right. Yeah.
That's your one and only dad joke for the day, too.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Speaking of dad jokes, I think we should move on to the segment where we're going to try and quiz Mary on some local Australian slang and just see if she can work out what it is. This is the part where Grumpy Granny freaks out because she hasn't done her homework.
No, I have done my homework.
Oh, you have done it. I'm surprised. She's actually, if she goes quiet, she's looking on Google. I've got my little list here. So the first one is, what do we call in Australia? What do we call what you call a sidewalk?
Oh, I'm gonna take a guess.
You get a Tim Tam for every one you get right.
Yeah. So we have a different term that we use over here.
Does your sidewalk have concrete or is it dirt?
Yes. Well, they're pretty much the same as your sidewalks, but we just call them a different name. So you might
get mugged by an
walkway
or a kangaroo.
Close. Footpath.
Footpath. Okay. Well, that's why I was asking dirt, because dirt to me would have been a footpath. So.
Yeah, no, that's what we are. Yeah. So
even I'm getting nervous because I feel like I'm going to get some of these wrong, and I'm Australian.
I had to rack my brain on that one.
So what? All right. So this one I'll ask you the opposite way. So what is a servo? Any thoughts?
Dead air.
Is it good too?
Yeah. Okay, so we have service stations, which are what you would call a gas station.
Yes.
But of course, in Australia, it is just our natural way of doing things. We have to shorten it and give it a nickname. And so our service stations are, you don't go to the gas station, you go to the servo.
That's right.
Okay. I still call
it at the end of everything.
So we put O's on a lot of things. So you got Wayno, servo.
Yes, we do.
That's the only O's I can think of at this moment. The Beacho.
Yeah. So, and I do believe, like in America, it's quite popular to have potluck dinners.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't.
You just hope whatever you're eating. The reason why they call it that's what you're hoping whatever you eat doesn't come back up later.
Yeah. We just bring a plate. Yeah, we don't have potlucks. We just bring a plate.
Yeah, that's what we do. Potlucks, that's what we do. We just bring a platter of something that we're wanting to feed.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
I would have got that one wrong. I would have thought it was a roast.
A roast.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
No, that's called pot roast.
I'll go half of it, right?
So the next one is you have parking lots. What do we have?
Oh, I knew this one. Hold on. Come on, Life of a Reseller.
Hey, I'm Australian. I know these.
He's only here for the looks.
I'm just chilling. I'm hanging out. I'm here to
Give
watch
us
the
some
show.
sign language.
Yeah. So it's very simple. We have car parks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have car parks. So we have
Car
carports. But that's only something on top of it.
Yeah, we have car ports as well.
Yeah. Now the next one will be very easy because we did sort of mention that earlier, and you have trash cans, and we don't have them. What do we have?
We're very simple over here. That's a
It's like your goodwill. What goodwill?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
So you go to the Goodwill bins, which is where you can buy
it's
stuff
a bin
to resell. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have bins, and that's what we put our rubbish and our garbage in.
And I should know this because I watch a lot of like Australian, I do BBC and all that. And I should know some of this.
Yeah.
We also have bin chickens.
Yes, we do have bin chickens. Yes.
I say I knew it's your bathroom. That's a loo.
Yes, it is. It is.
That's the G-rated version of what we call it.
Yeah, we call it a dunny. I call it a dunny. A dunny.
Yeah.
I was thinking a little bit more MA.
The SH one.
Right.
Yes. So the other common phrase for it is a SHIT house.
Hedge.
Or a shorter version of that.
So SHIT.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're
There's
ever
a lot of text.
We'll just call it a poo house, shall we? Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you're ever in the South and they tell you there's a shit house out back, that's not some place you go to the bathroom. Actually, that word is SHED.
Well, we would be arrested quite quickly.
Yeah, we would.
My mother said that when we moved up north, and she said it to our next door neighbor, and she looked at my mom and she was like, "You have a what?" Because shed house. Then I'm saying shed, but if you put the accent to it, it sounds like the other word.
Yeah.
And it's like she's sitting there and she goes, "Don't you have a bathroom in the house?"
That's funny.
Yeah, we don't refer to it as a bathroom. We call I don't know if it's the same in the States, but what we call the toilet is actually separate to the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a separate room.
The guys call it the head. I'm heading off to the head.
Oh.
I still haven't figured that out.
That's a Navy term. It's a Navy term.
It's a Navy term. It's actually pulled over because my dad was Navy, but it's actually now that's the kids sit there and say I'm going to the head. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting. I was like, wow, even our words are starting to come back around.
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny.
What else we got, Granny?
Okay, so my last one is a bit off there, but it is a definite thing that we have. So what would you open a letter with? Would you use a letter opener?
I use a knife.
I don't know about you, Blake, but I use my tentacles to open letters.
I just ripped the bloody thing. I had to grab it and I'd rip it. I got no mercy at all.
Well, look, back in the day, that wasn't the done thing to do. You got your what Mary would call the letter opener and inserted it in. It's like a little bit like a blunt knife, I suppose. But yeah, over here they tend to call them a paper knife, not a letter opener. And it's a bit weird, but that's what. Yeah,
never.
That's sort of an older term, I suppose. That's an older term.
They must have brought it in
probably
back in the 1800s.
Yeah, about then. Yeah.
Bit outdated, Granny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of old YouTubers,
I literally use a knife.
Yeah. So one thing that it does interest me though is a lot of the I see a lot of the American YouTubers, resellers, when they're going to their the markets or the garage sale, as they're walking away, they say, "Appreciate you." That seems to be very common over there. See, we would say, "See ya," and which is our equivalent of goodbye. and yeah, they say appreciate you. So what's the go with that one?
When I guess the saying comes from the fact that, like, when we're buying something and somebody's taking the time to put something out there for the flea markets and yard sales, that's our way of saying we really appreciate you, doing what you've done, and also selling it to us really cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna take that out, right?
Yeah.
we still haven't worked out how to edit video, so you're out of luck.
Yeah.
But I suppose Grumpy Granny wasn't so much grumpy before she started watching YouTube channels that saying appreciate you. That's what triggered her. Yeah, she went right off the edge after that.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, at the end of my videos, I always tell them, love you, God bless, love you. And that's how I do it. And a lot of people are like, why do you do that? I'm like, because there's so many people out there that might be having like a really bad day or really sad or just by themselves. And just, hearing something nice, even saying, I appreciate you, or, just saying something kind, can sometimes change a person's total mood. So
we think if they stumbled across our channel, they're definitely having a bad day. So maybe we should start saying that too, Granny.
Yeah, like I said, it's a psych ward.
Yeah, Octo wouldn't know anything about being kind. Let me tell you that much.
No. I got a couple of nasty Instagram messages once every blue moon.
Yes.
Oh, that's sad.
Yes, I actually had one of I guess I'd say one of my fans that watches our podcast actually suggested I needed to give you a bit more stick because you're a bit of a misogynist.
Well, yeah, you can't help how octopuses are.
You forgot the puss part.
That's right. That's exactly misogynist.
Yeah.
It's going
to take me a bit of working to remember.
That doesn't come out right, does it?
And I was kind of I was trying to think of another term that I could use, and all I kept coming up was male chauvinist pig, but I didn't think it was very nice to call you that, so I didn't.
No, well, for starters, I'm an octopus, not a pig.
Yeah, well, that's right. Male chauvinist octopus is a bit hard.
Right.
Doesn't roll the tongue very well.
Puss because it's an octopus.
Yeah, that's right. That's
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to give it an Australian slang just to bring it down.
So is that what in America would they still call, if someone was a misogynist, would they call them a male chauvinist pig? Because that's a saying over here. That's what we would call them.
Actually, they have words for them, but I don't curse. But basically, the letters are S, O, and a B.
Okay. Yep.
Or an A and the word hole at the end.
Yes.
That's how we greet our children over here.
Yeah. Australians swear a lot.
Yes,
and like
they do swear a lot.
Most things, like if you're confused about what something might be in Australia, put a swear word in front of it. That's probably what it's going to be. Like,
and in America, you might find that if people are cursing at you, it's derogatory, or they're angry. But in Australia, it's quite the opposite.
Well, if you're in New York, you don't take it that way. If you're going to a New York Yankees game or one of their Giants games, these people are like fiends about their teams. And you hear them cursing at you, it's because they're your friends.
That's right.
They're yelling and cursing.
Well, there we go. They're honorary Australians.
We should go to New York.
We're similar over here. The people you don't like, you call mate, and the people that you do like, you call them a mean, nasty name. Yeah, it's just we're very opposite over here.
Oh, so what would you?
We're always like, oh yeah, nah, and all that sort of stuff.
But there's a little. I do notice, like, because the mate thing is a real thing, but there's a little tone to it when they say it. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
it's all in the delivery.
Sarcastically saying it to them.
Yeah, you got like, hey mate, how are you? Like, that's fine, or yeah, right, mate.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, mate. It's like,
now, what is good on you, mate?
Good on you is so that's good on you, like as in like
good.
Yeah, go ahead, Octo.
Yeah, so like. But this is where it gets more difficult. It really comes in the delivery. So, if Granny goes, oh, good on you, Granny. Yeah, good on you, Octo. Like that means good. Yeah, like you did a really good job. But if you're like, oh, good on you, mate, like, which is like, you mean you've screwed it up. Like someone might have cut you off in the parking or, something along lines of that. So, like I said, it all comes down to the delivery of how you say it.
Yeah. Now I think about it, everything.
I need to pay attention at the end of this, how you end it. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Good on you,
that's
mate.
right. That's exactly. Yeah. No, we'll just cut you off and continue. I tell you, like we were talking a bit earlier, I'm a bit trigger happy with the remove button. So,
Power's gone to your head with those
I
that little
can't help
button.
myself. Well, that's exactly right. Uncle Wayno started it. He gave me moderator rights on his channel, and
Yeah.
So you guys have all these questions for me. So now I have questions.
Oh,
so
please
okay.
ask.
Is that how this channel works, Granny? I thought the octopus was in charge.
Well, yeah, I thought you. Yeah, well, that's up to you. You're the one
Well,
that's always bossing people around.
I'll allow it.
Oh,
Please.
good.
So I'm going to leave you out of this disgruntled octopus because you got too many arms to actually, answer the question.
What
You
was
can
that?
raise
My
one.
question is how long have all of you been selling? Obviously, I guess eBay. How long have you guys been selling online?
Hey, we're back on reselling now. Yay.
We're almost like the Trash to Cash podcast.
Well, I'm
getting Australian questions. Okay.
I'll go first because I'm the baby of the group I'm the old person, but I'm the baby of the group as far as reselling goes. So I've been reselling now for about 18 months.
Okay. Wow, you do really good.
Yeah. So I'm a baby. Mm.
I'm about 3 years. I had a big break for about a year in the middle though. But yeah, I've been doing about 3 years full time, almost a year now.
So I started eBay part-time back in 2006. So I would
Did you say 1906?
1888.
Yeah.
2006. So basically, I would import arcade machine parts, like the ones that you'd see at your arcade things, like the games for those. I'd import those from all over the world and sell them locally because I'd get them really cheap on eBay. Do the octopus tax and add 200-300% on top of that and sell them locally. So that's when I started on eBay. Went full time the start of last year, so back in 2022, I think, when I went full time.
That was last year, Octo. Yes.
Had to think then.
Well done.
Look at me go.
Maths.
Yeah.
Octopus is not very good.
I didn't go full time until I've been doing it for 10 years, but I didn't go full time until probably about a year and a half ago. Like I said, I've sold a lot of stuff offline because I had built a clientele that was either like with HBO or I did a couple of some of the shows up in New York, fashion shows, and some I'll mention, some I won't. So, and a couple of them I'm going, wow, okay.
Okay.
I'll post that.
So is that with Blake in his Poshmark closet?
Yes, I think I saw Blake there. You looked good with my hair pot, by the way. No,
oh yeah,
they
I'm losing it all.
That was funny. That was
Maybe
funny
it's you that was making me bald. Maybe it's the product that's making me lose all my hair.
Blake, what you need to do is actually get America can help you with this. Actually, is get a fern of some sort and you put it behind your head. And then just organise your lighting in the way. And if you do it the right way, it actually looks like the fern looks like it's your hair.
I think I'll just stick to my cap. I think I'll just keep wearing my hat.
So that sounds a lot more complicated than putting your skeleton in the background.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had done an auction that day and I'm going, this is why they bought everything from me. They felt bad for me.
Yeah. It did. It seriously looked like you had your ponytail up and your little...
There's like ferns.
Yeah.
The fashion of Minnesota, eh?
Yeah, it looked like she spent a lot of time crimping her hair to get all those nice little... Yeah.
I tell you what, I wish the funny part is when I put my hair up, that's exactly what it looks like. I have curly hair. I'm Scotch and Irish, so my grandmother gave me lots and lots of curls. So I was just, I got to miss the red hair, but I got to hit the curl.
I used to have really curly hair, and then it just went straight. So, I don't know.
Could be worse, mate.
It happens. It goes straight, then it goes curly again. So wait until I don't know how old you are, but once you're like over 50.
I have both.
I won't have any hair in a few years. I'm only 23.
I have both. I have straight hair and I put curlers in it and it comes out curly.
You have pretty hair though. I would kill to have straight hair.
The octopus doesn't have hair.
Feels like that.
Yeah.
You would just be happy to have hair.
Well, that's right. That's exactly right. So by all means, please send any toupees that you don't want to PO Box 88.
888.
Triangle. Bermuda Triangle.
I was thinking more like a lint roller.
Oh, well, I will need one of those soon.
It's good for the slime. It actually works really well.
That's exactly right.
On you. Yeah.
It just gives me a bit of a glisten.
Yes. No.
So you were saying that you buy parts from go back to reselling. That you bought parts from from like overseas and stuff like that you would ship in. Now let me ask you a question. What was your shipping for that? I mean, didn't you have an international? I mean, because around here the shipping was
yeah. So like I was saying last episode, I import a lot of things from the US at the moment. So I get a lot of collectibles and all those different things. So I have a shipping forwarder. So using that shipping forwarder at the moment, sometimes I pay twice what I paid for the item in shipping cost, right? So if I pay $10 US, it costs me $20 in shipping. But then I go to sell that item for probably $70 or $80 US. So there's definitely that profit margin bringing it in. By virtue, Australia doesn't get a lot of the US exclusives. So that's that little market there. If you can, that's something that I like about the US, I suppose.
I don't know. As a buyer, when you're buying from the US, I mean, I try to work with buyers who are buying internationally because the tax and the VAT that they have to pay is so ridiculous.
Yeah, so I get around that because I ship to Florida. So Florida's got no sales tax, so that avoids from that perspective, right? But
you send children.
What's that, sorry?
Everything gets shipped to Florida. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Well, one day I'm just going to buy a warehouse in Florida, I think. But then they ship it to me from there. But because we've got our tax system over here that we kind of avoid the GST, I suppose that's what we call the VAT coming in. We pay it through sales and all those different things. But yeah, like I said, it's very lucrative if you know what you're looking for. Getting it from America, because even though you're paying that exorbitant shipping cost, we don't get a lot of the products that are exclusive to your stores like Hot Topic and all these different places over there as well. So, and a lot of people that I don't want to call them lazy, but they don't know how to get the stuff over here. So they'll pay the premium just to get that one item.
So do any of you sell internationally? I mean, do you try to stay away from it? Or
no,
I love it. I
do say.
Really? I've had two really bad things that happened, and both of them were really expensive pieces of jewelry. And I wound up with fraudulent buyers and on both times. And it was just like,
wow.
It's such a hit to you because now it's internationally gone. And if it's international, we're responsible for getting it back and we have to pay for it.
Yeah, sorry, Blake.
I've had no problems international. And like yesterday was my first real weird day. I actually sold more to America yesterday than I did in Australia, which was really weird. Like, I sold like 2 extra things.
I told you we like you guys.
And I did, I know. Well, it's ridiculous.
I've had 3 sales today and they've all been international.
Yeah, I've had 2 that were international already today. And like, I don't have a low shipping cost. Like I charge just flat rate $40 to go overseas, which is, I don't know, like $20 US or something like that. But yeah, and they just pay it every time. And, I offer combined shipping internationally too. Someone bought 2 jackets off me yesterday and it paid $80, like without even combining it together. Like I was like,
now are you using eBay's global?
No. So we use our own, we use Australia Post, which is our, pretty much the only way we can do it. But so that's $40. I charge a flat rate of $40 to send that over. And it's good because I base that on a weight of 500 grams, which is half a pound, maybe.
Just under a pound. Just under a pound.
Under a pound. Okay. So if that weighs under the lower level, then that's just a bonus to me. So I'll get a bit more money, make a few dollars out of the shipping. And then plus we are on bands with our postage. So the more postage you pay for, they give you a bigger discount. So if you're on, say, band, it goes up to band 5. So I'm on band 4. So I'll get, say, probably nearly a $10 discount on the postage.
Nice.
So yeah,
we get.
So what we find is when we watch a lot of American YouTubers use the eBay platform to send you postage. You buy your postage labels through eBay.
I do sell. Yeah, I do pirate ship a lot. I like pirate ship.
So if you think of Australia Post, something similar to pirate ship, that we have like different levels of, the amount of quantity that you sell, you go up different levels through Australia Post. The higher the level you are, the more of a discount you get. So I think if you get to band 5, it might be like a 25% discount on retail. And I think pirate ship does that as well, similar, that they have like a discount on the MSRP.
Yeah, I like pirate ship. Pirate ship reminds me a lot of like Etsy. Etsy, believe it or not, you pay way less in shipping. Like if I do free shipping, and even with my buyers buying, the shipping is way less than eBay. But it's because Etsy actually, believe it or not, they sell a lot of items. They sell a lot of stuff, and they get a really good price for us on shipping. There have been times I'm going, oh, if I could always just switch it over there. Rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, the shipping thing in America is probably the only thing I does my head in, because when you hear them talking about it, you've got UPS and US blah, 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 and UPS, pirate ship and
US.
You've got all these different things, and like we don't. I mean, we do have a few, but not to that extent. And it's confusing.
I honestly, I like USPS, and this is just me. I'm sure everybody else has a different statement on it, but my items actually, because I have a really good post office and I take really good care of my postmaster and all of my workers during Christmas. So they do have different areas that they put your package, and that's how it's going to get shipped out when it goes overseas or whatever. So it's pretty well protected. I've done UPS and FedEx, and those are the only 2 times I've ever had issues where if I hadn't used all the bubble wrap and double boxed it, it would have been shattered. And they sent me pictures of the boxes, and I'm going, and they'll put a comment like, if she didn't ship the way she did, this item would have been broken. And I send a lot of high-end antique items that are hard to find.
I suppose we have a very similar system. Like in Australia, we don't have like we have someone deliver our mail to our letterbox, but we don't have them pick the mail up. We don't have them pick the mail up. So you see a lot of YouTubers where they say that the FedEx driver's here, or USPS or UPS is here, or whatever company picks it up. We don't have that. That's an optional extra for us. We pay about $10 a day for that. But we don't have an over-reliance on the postmaster as well. Like we don't have to butter them up or bribe them like you're saying. We just drop it off and
bribing.
That's right. Well, the thing is that we and this is not not having a stab at anyone, but our postal workers are classed as public servants, right? So basically they get quite a significant amount of pay. So there's no more favourable treatment if you give them an Amazon gift card or a gift card for something, or a carton of beer or something along lines of that. So
see, ours aren't paid that well. They really are.
Ours are paid. I won't say like they're astronomically paid well, but they're quite comfortable.
Paid reasonably well. Yeah,
compared to a lot of other places.
Our post office has made sure that basically a high percentage, I would say probably about 70 to 80% of the employees, and don't quote me on that, but I have good friends of mine that are postmasters, and the postmasters do pretty good, but the postal workers that are there, they literally have cut their time, so they're not full-time, so they can't get all the benefits that are like come with it. And so I take good care of them, because you know what, they've been there for me. And I mean, they'll put all my boxes to the side. They'll have everything sitting there. If I have to, if I go for treatments for like a week, they'll have everything, and I'll forget to put everything on hold. They'll take care of it. So our post offices are pretty good. I've heard some nightmares here in the United States, but I've been really blessed with mine. And I've always been like that with my postal service, because I want my item.
When you're bribing your postmaster and his workers,
greasing their hands.
Yeah. So when you're looking after them, so what would you give them? Like if you were taking at Christmas time, what you take them in a gift, what would you give them?
I usually get them either gift cards, and I won't put an amount on it, and honestly, they're not supposed to get that type of stuff. So they can get turkeys or hams for Christmas, because a lot of them have families. And they don't really have the funds to do that. And I'm all about it. Yeah,
in Australia, we'd give them a carton of beer.
I don't. I'll give him a smile. That's about.
No, but I'm saying if we were going to, the standard gift for someone here, if they help you out with something, is to give them a carton of beer.
Now, see, if I walk into a post office and I hand that to them, they're fired.
Well,
so we work in a beer economy here.
Yes, we do.
Beer's big over here.
But like what Granny was saying, that what I normally do for my local post office is I just don't be mean to them for December. That's what they get as a yearly present. But it's always reciprocal because the post office that I go to, they actually give me presents because they have a reward program in the post office that not many people know about. Is that
Wanted?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, they have a reward program, but basically that when you use My Post, which is that that pirate ship equivalent we were talking about earlier, is it kind of attributes points to that specific post office. So once they get to a different, and they basically compete with all the post offices in that area, if they get like the top 3, I think it is, and I'll ask this afternoon and I'll confirm, but they get basically all these bonuses. So they get gift cards, or they get there's financial benefits for that ranking system. So they basically, because of the amount of packages that we bring in,
yes,
they try and reverse bribe. So where you would give someone over there, that they normally give me stuff, or they give
your
me
postal service is well taken care of. It's really sad. They're not allowed to receive gifts. So basically mine are in envelopes. So this with the stamp on it, and it goes to them. So, this way it's not being handed to them. If I was to do that, they would actually get fired. So
how about you do it this way? How about you put a balaclava on and walk in with your gift card then? Wouldn't that be? That might be a better way of doing it. That'd get their attention pretty quick.
And just grab a card. But no, it's really sad because the way things are is we're not allowed to take care of our public servants, even our police departments. It's like in fire departments, I've offered to go in, and the only way I got stuff over to the police department was I donated to the fire department. I had to go in through a back door to come in through a front door. And it's kind of sad because our public servants over here are treated very, very wrong. They put their lives on the line. And, even our postal workers, they're working all the way through. We have a lot of snow here. And our postal driver delivers. They're going through that snow. They're not coming down to our houses now up in Pennsylvania. They still deliver door to door through 3 to 4 feet of snow.
Wow.
So they're still walking them door to door out there. And it's like, even like with here.
That's a pretty good exercise regime. Well, imagine
they do. They do very well up there.
I'm quite envious. Like, imagine how much weight they'd be losing with all that extra exercise.
Bloody fit posties over there.
I know.
Yeah.
But our postal service says they get points too. So it's like I had a couple of items that wound up missing. So instead of going through USPS, I went right to my main, postmaster, and they find it, and it helps them not get a bad review against them. So it keeps building them up, and it's obviously shipping and everything through eBay and Etsy. And there's a lot of resellers actually in my town. So actually, in most areas that you go to, you see a lot of resellers. Like one of the stores that I did my video on, they had a bunch of free items. I actually got really cruel comments made on my YouTube. Going, you're stealing from the poor. I'm like, no,
we all get it.
Well, that's how Granny gets to our police station. Yeah, she does steal from the charity shops, and that's how she gets involved with the police. They arrest her.
Yeah, you're so full of it.
That's how you got that big bag of clothing so cheap.
Yes, my $5 bag.
Yeah,
she missed out at the point where it's a 5-finger discount bag, not a $5 bag.
So Mary, how you have the old what they call an old lady shopping trolley that they fill up. That's little wheels. They're quite big. So a couple of weeks ago, one of the op shops here was having a $5 bag sale, but they allowed me to use my trolley as the bag.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
No, we did a little plastic bag about this big.
No. I got to use my shopping trolley, and that was actually for an elimination chamber challenge. I was a secret shopper. So one of our other YouTubers, Diary of a Flipper, is doing an elimination chamber at the moment where resellers are in there, and they had a secret shopper, which was me. And yes, you got a certain amount of money to start with, and I actually got to go and fill my bag up. And I came out with some nice stuff, including a pair of Dolce & Gabbana pants and, quite a few other nice little items.
You didn't tell Jada what you got. So you didn't win the thing.
I'm so mad about that because you know what? He didn't give me half the instructions he gave everybody else. He didn't tell me that I didn't have to thrift it. I thought I had to, thrift with the money, and didn't tell me then how I had to report back to him. And I'm sitting waiting for my next instructions with nothing. And then, I would have won that week easy.
Oh, well. You didn't get eliminated. That's the main thing.
Don't you come back?
So basically, Mary, that we've got a YouTuber over here. He likes to wear a lot of clothes and try a lot of clothes on, male, female, or indifferent. He's running I suppose a survivor type YouTuber channel at the moment. So basically, he's just voting off a YouTuber a week or a reseller a week. So, and Granny was invited to come on there. So
I'm still in. I didn't lose, but I would have won.
Yeah, you're leaving me alone.
Yeah.
You're leaving me alone. You can harass him for once.
I just can't believe you got to fill up that big thing. That is awesome. That is so cool.
Well, I think I came out with I think about 15 pairs of jeans, because I sell a lot of jeans, and then there was some blouses and pants and stuff in the bottom, but out of those items, I'm going to say 2/3 was good designer stuff. So nice.
That's awesome.
And there's nothing wrong with that. No, actually, it was brought up the other day. I was with Christian and them, and I was just in the chat. I was sitting there working, and they were talking about dumpster diving, and I'm going. I had a friend of mine at what they call a consignment antique store. So things would be brought in, and if they weren't sold within a certain amount of time, the owners have to come back, pick them up, or relist it back through them. And if they didn't, they had like 30 days. He would go and throw everything out. I have the original Star Wars and the projector that goes with it.
Wow.
I pulled that bad boy out because I asked him, I said, do you mind? Because it was like the one night I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, he's got all this stuff in here. Are you kidding me? I was like, when I have my brick and mortar and I'm like looking. So I called him. He goes, yeah, I saw you out there folding my boxes and putting them out. I was like, yeah, people left a bunch of trash out there. I was like, yeah, he had a really nice antique store. I bought a lot of stuff from him. He's like, hey, if you want to go dive in there. And I'm going, you know what? I wish I had done a YouTube then, because I pulled out some gorgeous, beautiful antique items that are just...
we really don't have much dumpster diving over here. Like, Granny tried it once and they thought she was a raccoon, but that's pretty much the
That's okay. I got the cops called on me.
They chased the hose on.
Well, it's a bit hard to go dumpster diving when we don't really have dumpsters, isn't it? I mean, we
got skip bins.
Skip bins, but
I'd go dumpster diving in the skip bins around Ballarat, but I'd probably cop a bloody rusty needle in my arm somewhere and stuff. They got a lot of funny individuals.
Our dumpsters are skip bins. They're the same thing.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of cool history in your country too. I mean, you've got some great items that are over there that show a different history, different people coming through and being in Australia. So you have a different variation with it, which is what I love. I'm going because I have a bucket list checked for Scotland. Now I'm probably going to come to Australia now because if I can fill up a big bin, I'm going,
Yeah.
Well, I've got some relatives in Scotland, so maybe you should go visit them. I don't know if you've heard of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes. My brother makes claim to him first, though. So.
Oh, okay. Well, send your brother around.
Now, my grandfather came over from Scotland right during the
funny about that because my great grandfather came from New York, so he came from America. Yeah, he was a sailor.
I'll be Lithuanian.
So, yeah.
Hey,
And he
really
came
right
out. Well, he came out here for the. They were having a gold rush here at the time that he was working on the ship, and jumped ship to go gold mining.
Ooh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Only can find the gold.
Look, it was good and it was bad. It was good for a while, but it was his demise in the end because he tried to blow him. Well, he didn't try to blow himself up. He did blow himself up. Trying to excavate a new mine. So that was how he met his demise. Yeah.
He was probably doing it down here in Ballarat.
Tarnagulla.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I do a lot of. I go diamond mining. I go opal. I've done most of Arizona and New Mexico and Utah for like agate, garnets, diamonds, opals, gold. I have like the whole rig for gold panning that goes through the sluice. Yeah, that's what I'm adding onto my channel because that's why I started it, was to kind of travel people around for different things that you can sell that you can find for free at the same time.
Well, you'd be able to come and get some of the rare black opals and things we have over here.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, so I'm going, that's lovely. Because you guys have things that really poisonous over there.
Yeah, we do. They're called octopuses.
I was going to say Granny's the worst of the lot, but yeah, she beat me.
No, they're called octopuses. I got in first. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have the sharks, you got the snakes, the spiders. So I'm okay with sharks and snakes because we have sharks in Florida and I've swam around those. And, we have gators. But you guys have crocs.
Yeah, we have crocodiles. Yes, we do.
Yeah, our gators just look at you and go, yeah, I already ate that dog. I'm good.
Oh, no.
Crocs are like, food. Look at the white chick. Run.
But I suppose a lot, we got a lot of marine life that's deadly as well. Like Granny was saying, the blue ring octopus, which is like a really tiny octopus, probably about the size of, what would you say, Granny? Maybe inch or 2 inches wide, and probably take you out with one hit if it gets you. Like it's venomous, and box jellyfish, which are up to the north of it.
Yeah, we have the man of war. We have that.
Yeah. We have them. We pop them on the beach.
Yeah.
we call them blue bottles over here. Portuguese men of war.
Yes.
Yeah, I grew up with like the jellyfish and stuff like that. I mean, our parents are great over here. It's like, go swimming, it's good.
And of course there's the pufferfish. The pufferfish are poisonous.
Right. The ponderous pufferfish is quite venomous.
Yeah. Yes, my brother actually got. I was going to say stung, but stung's not the right word. Pricked by a pufferfish many, many years ago when he was a young lad.
So
you have the most beautiful water. You guys have the most beautiful oceans around you, but you can't really swim.
That's misleading because you actually see what's coming to eat
swimming
you.
Still.
Is it?
You get to see what's coming to eat you. That's what the ocean is.
That's always good.
But on the west coast of Australia, the beaches are pristine.
So you're going like this to your wife or your husband. I got a great white. Bye.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You find a lot of Australians tend to walk on water if they see something coming towards them. So
yes,
you won't be waving like that for too long.
Yeah.
See, us as Americans, we have no common sense. It's
we know that.
Oh, look, there's a gator and a shark, so we try to go closer to it. Let's get pictures.
Well, it's a bit like there are a couple of tourist spots in Australia that are on cliffs, and you can get a beautiful selfie if you turn around. And the further back you go to the edge of the cliff, and there have been the odd tourists that have fallen off those spots.
Oh my gosh!
We had
like that, but they got more common sense over the years.
I used to go on holiday at a small seaside town, Malakuta. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but
yes.
There was an old seal that used to live up around the harbour sort of area, and he always just came up there and just minded his own business sort of thing. But he was there for years and years when I was a kid. But then when it started getting a bit more popular with the tourists, different foreign tourists and stuff would come over and try and pat it, and he got angry at one of them sometime, and the next thing you know, Parks was down there and had to shoot it because it was a danger to the tourists and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is very sad. That was. I remember that.
It's not like that here. They want to pet the gators, and they don't kill the gator after it eats your child or your dog or your wife. No, we're going to move it and put it in the Ocala forest. Pick it up and move it somewhere else. It's like,
see, over here, whenever I do something, they put me on YouTube. That's what my punishment is. I have to put up with Granny for every week.
But that's so sad that they
I know. Every week I have to put up with Granny.
Oh, no, not you. I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, I thought you were giving me some sympathy. Well, where's that remove button again, Blake? Where did it go?
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with walruses and seals, I mean, just common sense. It's a wild animal. You don't go up there. You don't try petting it. I was in the Tetons in Wyoming for 6 months, which I was in the Tetons. I was like in the wild area where you have grizz, you got cougar, and I was actually.
We have them at nightclubs around here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them
too. But I was stuck there. I was waiting for my truck to be fixed, and for some reason it took them 6 months. And I had I have an off-grid camper that I restored, a 1974 Holiday Traveler. Actually, that's how we figured out I had cancer the first time. And I got sick while I was trying to
because we don't have campers.
Oh, you don't have campers?
No, we have caravans.
Oh, okay. That's what we have whenever you put a bunch of semis together.
Well, yeah, that'd just be a convoy, wouldn't it, for us? Yeah.
It's a road train.
Who's driving?
Road train. Yeah. Road train.
Yeah, it's according to who's driving. It's a caravan if it's nobody can speak the same language. It's a convoy if they actually all have CB. So it works out
right.
good.
Okay. Yep.
But it's I was stuck out there, and it's funny because I watched people try to walk up to a moose, or they want to go and feed a grizz, and I'm going, you people have no common sense whatsoever. These are wild animals. Their first instinct is to bite you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to.
I've had to fend off Octo so many times.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, that's his first instinct too.
Yeah, well, I was going to say my first instinct with bears would be that recent documentary that came out. I thought they were all addicted to cocaine. Wasn't there a documentary about that?
Yeah, cocaine bear. Yeah.
I thought
octopuses are supposed to be kind and cute and adorable. And
haven't you seen the news article about us punching fish because I just don't like the look of them?
That's so not nice.
Look it up. It's real. Look it up. I'm serious.
I think I had an eBay buyer that was a bit of a fish yesterday, Octo, that you might need to go punch for me. That'd be great.
Yes.
What happened?
Do tell.
Do tell. They were annoying. That I against my better judgment, right? They were being real annoying at the start before they bought the item, and in the end, I just put them on my block list and that. And then anyway, they've been trying to buy it for weeks, and they're like, I can't do it. La, da, da, da. The reason I put them on my block list is because I looked at their feedback history, and they've given negatives all the time. And but against my better judgment, I was like, oh yeah, held on to it for a while. It was a $180 Patagonia jacket. And I was like, oh yeah, righto. He bought it full price. Got a return request yesterday, and then they were just messaged me. They're like, this was dirty. You said it was like new. I was like, no, I didn't. And they're like, it's dirty. It stinks. I'm like, no, it didn't at all. And that sort of thing. And what happened in the end is they're like, I don't want to return the item. I'm demanding an 80% refund. If not, then give me a 100% refund. So I called eBay. They're like, don't give them anything like that. They're either going to return it or we're going to shut it in your favor. I was like, oh, yeah, righto. And anyway, I was waiting for the negative feedback, and they haven't sent it yet, but I spoke to a few representatives yesterday, and they're like, if they leave feedback, we'll remove it because you got 60-day free returns. It's their choice not to, not to send the item back. And even if they do, they even told me afterwards, they're like, when you get the item back, just refund them 50%. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I think, Granny, once we get to the page.
eBay works really well with you guys because a lot of
times. Sometimes they do.
Yeah. I was going to say, when we get to the Patreon stage, we'll just have, instead of a Patreon names rolling, we'll just have our eBay block list rolling at the end.
Yes, we could do too. Yeah. It would go for a long time.
I was about to say, my list, you'd probably be here 3 days later.
Yeah.
Well, my list is your list now because you sent it to me. But
we tend to share our block list. Do they do that over in America?
We have a website you can go to for eBay for fraudulent buyers. Because we seem to have a lot of that here.
Yeah, ours aren't just fraudulent buyers. Like we block people we don't like. So, if they're annoying and, being a bit painful, we block them. And what else do you block them for, Octo?
Asking too many questions. But and also, if they ask a question you don't like,
if they buy something and don't pay for it, we block them.
Yeah. And if you don't like the look of them, you go, good on you, mate, and then block them.
Yep.
It's funny because eBay's like, well, you have a certain amount of time. I'm like, look, they buy the item and it's still sitting there 12 hours later. I'm canceling it. That's because right. I've given them like 2 or 3 messages reminding them, hey, you bought it, paid for it. Because I had, you've got other buyers that were sitting there looking at it and watchers. And I'm like, I have realized that there are some times that I had 2 buyers do this and I did block them and they were eBay resellers and they had the same item. So what they did was they pulled my item off.
That's right.
So their item
could get sold. Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, that's really, I actually like that. So I'm like, it's really sad that you would go and do something like that. I said, it's funny. I have a YouTube channel. Just put your name out there. So this way, and I'll give it to everybody else I know too, that this is what you're doing because I don't do that.
Yeah.
And I don't try to compete with anybody else with the
it's dirty.
Yeah. It's like, don't play dirty.
Just improve your listings. Yeah. Good titles, good photos, good stuff like that, and you'll sell it.
Yeah. That's what I was saying last week as well, Mary, is that I normally give them, 24 hours. Then, I'll basically send them a payment reminder. Then 48 hours after they've purchased, I'll relist the item and block them 4 days later.
You're kind of
we've got the issue, right? So we're stuck. I'm pretty sure it's in America as well, but we've got a 4-day period. We can't actually physically cancel that item without getting a defect.
We don't get that. I call
so
it.
We'll get a defect if we have to wait for 4 days. But like I was saying last week, is that you kind of get that gut feeling that 99% of people aren't going to pay. They fall into that category, so that you just relist them, block them, and eventually just cancel the sale. But nothing.
Because you know after the first, after a day, whether they're because if they're going to buy and they need an extra day, they'll message you back and say, oh, look, I'm going to still get that, but I won't be able to pay till Wednesday or, something like that. Or I'm still looking through your store to see if there's anything else I can get. The good ones will always message you. But most of the ones, if they haven't paid by then, they're not going to.
Yeah. No, and once you've been selling for a while, you've got good judgment too. And that's why I'm kicking myself from yesterday and whatever day it was, for unblocking a buyer, when I knew that it wasn't, I shouldn't have done it. I was like, it might be okay because they did leave positive feedback in the past, but they've also left a lot of negatives and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was like, I'll give them a chance sort of thing, eBay will have me back sort of thing. But it was just an absolute pain in the neck. I was dealing with it all day yesterday and got to stick to your guns.
So, this is something that I don't know if you've got over there, Mary, and I'm quite curious to see what you think. But if we get a negative feedback or we get an INAD or an INR, which is not received over here, our traffic just plummets. We won't make sales. For 2 or 3 days.
And they know the algorithm real quick. So what I do is I actually know how to get around to actually contacting eBay. Ooh, so I go into their messenger part, where it's like the chat. And they start to ask me stupid questions. I go, phone me, call me. And then finally they'll sit there and okay, what number do you want us to call you at? And they'll call me up. And then I'll tell them exactly what I'm doing. So this way I don't get a negative feedback. Because when I came to eBay, I got kind of hit with a couple of fraudulent buyers. And these were buyers that had literally credit cards that were stolen. And they had multiple. One of them, literally, why eBay was on there, they were watching how somebody broke into the system because it literally changed their name after it had been bought. You can't change the name on the invoice. And they watched it, and she goes, there's a problem. I have had my eBay store put on vacation because while I was being hit, they were sitting here trying to clear this. And I'm going, I have spent more time on vacation than actually selling. But I don't do third party. I'll sit there and I actually look up the address because I've been doing this a long time. I got hit one major time in Etsy, and I knew what to look for. And so I look up the addresses before I go and do anything. And if you look up the address and it's not a house, I'm not sending it to you. And I don't do third party, and I'm not sending overseas to China. I'm sorry. That's nothing to be derogatory or rude or mean, but it seems like I have more issues with that than I do with anything else. And I know it's circling back, and it actually goes back over into Florida. That was eBay's biggest bust was out of Florida. It was over $2.5 million in, going and doing it. So it was sad.
I was wondering what happened to my stock.
One thing I think. Sorry, here you go.
What would you do, John? Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah. He's got a bit of a slack jaw at the moment.
Is that his wife?
No, that's my emotional support octopus. He's not providing much at the moment.
Oh no, I meant, is that your wife, not John's wife? Your wife.
Oh no.
She's adorable. She's so cute. All white and fuzzy.
Yeah.
That one at the back. Here's the nanny, I suppose you'd call him, wouldn't you? Like he babysits the children and everything.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I love that octopus. Why can't we have him?
Which one?
He's got
the
much
white one?
cuter face. Much
I know.
face.
I picked him up at the op shop I picked him up at the thrift store for $1.50.
Did you really?
Yeah. It's
Cheap recruit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Pottery Barn.
How expensive are your thrift stores compared? Because you guys see us most of the time when we're on there, how much we're paying for an item.
I'd say it's comparable. Probably conversion rate, like, because I was watching American Arbitrage this morning, like Carrie, he was picking up shirts for $3, and I think a lot of our shirts would be $5, which is probably around that conversion rate. Goodwill seems to be a bit more expensive from what I see, but we don't have any set prices that I find consistent. Like even in the same city, if I go to a Salvation Army, which is probably one of our bigger thrift store lines over here, I could go one and a pair of jeans might be $5. Then I go to one around the corner and they're $13 for the same pair of jeans.
There's no real consistency. Just depends on the place.
That's exactly right. And it's not even socioeconomic areas. Like the poorer areas don't have cheaper pricing. I always find that they've got the more expensive pricing, where the richer areas have the cheaper pricing. Yeah, it's actually the way it reversed.
Weird. Yeah.
But
that's sad. I'm
sorry. That you're 100% correct. And because I'm a giant octopus, the managers normally cower in fear when I walk into the store, or slither into the store, as Granny says. It's conversations that I do have with the volunteers and saying, hey, look, and Blake was saying it a bit earlier as well, is that if you made it to the point where you're clearing it out of the store, like make it $2 a piece or make it $1 a piece or something like this, you're getting it for free. Like, make it.
They'll make more money.
Well, that's exactly right. Like, because you even said it yourself, Mary, before we went on the chat, was that Goodwill and our stores are the same. They're throwing a lot of stuff out because they can't do anything with it. And they're not willing to repurpose it or redonate to somewhere else, or give it
better
away.
Yet, even giving it exactly repurposing to something where it won't go into a landfill. It used to be that Goodwill actually had their what you call bins. I can actually call them. They're actually big bins that are actually out back.
Right.
Yeah.
And they used to have them open, and people would go in, and it was really sad, because to me this is a greed thing. But if you're not going to sell it, why not put it out front for free to somebody either who can use it or is going to resell it? Because us as resellers, we're in two different parts of the country. You're getting stuff. You guys are having items that are shipped out here to the United States, and vice versa. We're sending internationally all over also. So it's like, you're shipping all internationally all over the place also. So these items are having a chance to go to an area. Yep. I think you said Hot Topic. You don't have stuff like that when we were talking earlier. You're able to get things from us, and we're able to get stuff from you guys and all over the different country. We can't get anywhere else. Whereas a thrift store, it's one place and one place only. Now, Goodwill's going online. They're doing goodwill.com, everything else. And I don't know if you know who Dr. Lori is. Dr. Lori is like a really well known. She does. She's a doctoral degree actually in antiques and vintage items. I mean, but I watched her. She was in a Goodwill actually here in Minneapolis, and I'm sitting there, and this is the price on this. I'm like, and this is why our prices look the way they do. And it was a .com Goodwill, and I'm going, it's donated, and you're not doing anything with the money. You're just making money.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's fine. I mean, that's your prerogative. You can do that. We're all making money. But, my thing is don't tell people to donate to you because you're doing something good for something.
Yes.
Because you're not.
I agree. I agree with that one.
Yeah, I don't
that's exactly right. Right. That, my auntie, when she speaks to me, she's got a story. She comes from a little country town in New South Wales. So, kind of middle of nowhere where Granny's from. She said that she was in there a couple of weeks ago to her local thrift store. And, this mother came in with her young children. And she was like $1.50 short on, buying warm clothes. So, sweaters and all these different things because we're currently in winter. And the lady at the thrift store, the volunteer said, well, no, you don't have enough money. You have to put that back. And it's just, it was just the mentality. So my auntie just said, look, here's $20. I'll cover the bill. But, for the space of, clothing people for $1.50 or something along to this. So
my brick and mortar,
something you get for free.
If you came in and you didn't have anything, and I found out you were a family without anything, you would go and get whatever you wanted to. And then once you came up to me, I would just tell you to take it because, bottom line is I grew up and dirt was richer than I was. I grew up as a caretaker's kid on a farm. So we were doing everything for everybody else. And I guess I feel very blessed where I'm at today in my life. And I try to do back for others because that's what's required of us. It's like, there, especially when you see children, and that's a hard thing for me because I know going without, I didn't see a Christmas until I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what Christmas was yet. Yeah. And I was just, when you're sitting there and you're seeing everybody else with all these different things, and even with like clothing, and my mother was not a good seamstress. I mean, I was the only kid that had sleeves that were sewed shut. That's not even a joke. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And, it's really saddening when I see people like with Goodwill, these big corporations are coming in and they're more about, and you can tell which stores are actually doing for others because they don't have multi-million-dollar stores popping up everywhere. You have stores that are people coming in and they're working on like, when I do release the video for the ARC, you'll see the differentiation inside of it. It's not, high end, it's clean, but it's not like the high end part of it. And they're using that money to actually do something good. And even though Diane's place is gorgeous, I mean, Angel's Attic is absolutely gorgeous too. I mean, that place.
It is, yes.
Yeah, that place is ridiculous. But she literally started from another thrift store that she had opened, doing the same thing in a different place. And she moved up here because her child went to college. So she moved it up to where she's at. That mall that we're in, most of the stores are gone. So her rent is a little bit less than what it was, but I mean, she's donating $60,000 from her store for just one thing and all of the other things out there. And I was just like, that to me, and she didn't want to be on video because she's a very humble person. She doesn't want to be recognized when people come in of, okay, this is the owner. Yeah. And it makes it, to me, that meant even more.
That's a good person. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good person to me. And I wish there were more people in this world like that. And, it's funny because you said, I appreciate, we tried to, I know a lot of us, especially you'll see some of us YouTubers say it, but like, I really appreciate you guys having me on. I do. I mean,
watch Granny wither in pain right now.
No. There's a difference though. She's saying, I really appreciate you guys. It's having me on, whereas they'll just say, appreciate you. That's it.
But I suppose it's like, no different to see you later. It's just a party.
No, it's not. It's just,
no,
for some reason.
Yeah, but if I was to say see you later, you would never know that I appreciated you inviting me on to your podcast and us sharing each other's cultures and how we do things.
Yeah, I probably kind of would, because unless you went, yeah, good on you, mate, thanks for having me on. Like, if you did that, I would think, well, she didn't want to be here. Like, well, yeah.
See, Grumpy Granny's a bit cynical, you see.
I am a little bit, yes.
I've been teaching her well.
I love you, and I am so happy you had me here.
Our pleasure. Our absolute pleasure. Octo, have you looked at the time lately?
No. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hour and 45 minutes. We're trying to get those 4,000 watch hours up, Granny.
Oh, that's what it is it?
Yeah,
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Please watch my videos. That's how I get people to be on there.
Don't get me wrong. I have no hassle with that, because that just means so many more shorter videos that I can make out of it.
That's right.
I plan, when this goes out, I want to post this on and make sure it's okay with you guys on my Facebook, my Instagram, and also on my YouTube. I would like to pop this out there.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, like I said,
I would love to see you guys hit that 1,000 mark, and I have to reach out to a couple of friends of mine too, and see if we can't get you guys to that 1,000 mark. Because
I don't think we're very popular in the international market. I've heard, Granny. I don't think many people like us.
You're very popular.
I kind of thought we were popular, because when the few lives that I invited myself to, I seem to get along quite well and everything. But yeah, maybe they just all subscribe to Grumpy Granny's channel and not to your channel. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh no, maybe that's it. Maybe they. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but the Trash to Cash podcast have been spreading false information. They said this is a mask. They didn't believe I'm a full-size octopus.
But you were real, yeah.
That's exactly right.
I heard they said that they thought you were tech.
Well,
I
wish I had the money for that.
I think it is for Trash to Cash podcast as well. Kevin's always touching Soft Carrie's hands. And I think you might be jealous because you have 8 arms to do this with.
That's right.
American arbitrage.
Well, they're a bit. They're needing a Botox at the moment.
Kevin's very.
His tentacles are a bit floppy at the moment, but the trick is he does actually have hands.
And I think Dave,
if you can find them,
might actually be totally in love with you.
Well, I was about to say, who wouldn't be?
Look, there we go.
Wants to buy you.
Yeah. Look, there we go.
He can have him. He can have him. He'll leave us alone if Dave takes him.
See,
we would auction you. I mean, I know that Dave would buy you.
I was going to say, well, I'm pretty pricey by the pound.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're good guys. They are. They're really good.
Yeah,
guys.
no, I've been watching the Commonwealth Picker, and back when Dave was NC Picker, and a little bit of carry, But I've been watching them for a while. I've been watching Kevin for a few years actually, and onto 1 Foot Flipper at the moment. I love my 1 Foot Flipper.
Yes,
I love his intro thing. It's just like 1 foot flipper or whatever it is.
I know. I just like how skeptical he is about everything. I get along well with him. He could be the disgruntled 1 Foot Flipper. He could be like an honorary disgruntled person.
Yeah, I got in with them through like Yvonne Thrifty Rich and stuff like that. I don't know if Grumpy Granny has gone over there with Yvonne. They're a good group too. She does a lot of lives on her YouTube. She's a great lady. So, and of course, you already met Angie and Kristen. So
yes, they were great. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that's when she invited herself to the live, wasn't it? Wasn't it a members only live, and she invited herself?
Yeah, I did.
It was ladies only night. It was ladies' night. Yeah, it looked like too.
You sneak in everywhere. I see you all over Facebook and everyone's comment section and stuff like that. I'm like, bloody hell,
we have her YouTube address up in the bathrooms. This is
that's exactly right. Yeah. It's just crazy. She's like a plague across the YouTube sphere.
Bolo.
Yeah, you'll be all over Spotify next week.
Oh no, don't say that. I have PTSD from that.
We're gonna have to get you guys to come over here now. You're gonna have to come visit
just between you boys and girls and me. I believe the ringtone is going to be coming out soon.
Oh no,
that's funny. It was funny. It was so weird. Like I just watched your video, and then about 3 hours later, I was cooking tea, And I was just randomly in my head, I was just like, quick, grab those 501 Levi's. And I was like, oh no, what's she done?
Granny goes mad at me because, social media is not the octopus's forte. I'm more into the world domination aspect. But I was fiddling around with my channel page on YouTube. It's the short of, Granny's bolo. And every time I'd go in there, it keep coming out with the rap, and it was just
it pierces your brain.
Oh.
So you've done something right because it's catchy, but
it's catchy. Apparently, Recommerce Dave can't get it out of his head either. And last night in Chris Furlong's live, one of the younger viewers came along. Ashton is his name, Ashton Shorts, and he comes along to get Pokemon cards from Chris's live. And he said to me last night that, we watched your video in school today, Granny. And like I said, what sort of class are you in ever? And anyway, they had some free time. And so he suggested to his friends, I know this lady, this old granny that did a rap video. And they watched it at school. So I thought that was funny.
That is funny. That's awesome.
It's terrifying to say the least. Terrifying.
But wouldn't you like it to have a ringtone that goes, Bolo, Bolo?
No.
I have one for my mother. It's an alert thing. Warning, your mother is calling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, something along those lines. It would be great, I think. Yeah.
That's funny.
No, but we really appreciate you coming on, Mary, like reaching out to Granny, even though that she had the audacity to crash the live of the Let's Do Lunch podcast.
It just shows I should do that more often, doesn't it?
Well, that's right. That's exactly right.
I don't know if
it's great she came on. I really do. I think it's great. And, because she helps to kind of expand all of you. You should have came into the live with us.
They wouldn't have let him in.
Where
would
you?
not have let him in.
What live was this?
I have no idea. No idea. It was about a month ago now, month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Well, it was a fair while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fair while.
I tell you what, she's great advertisement. She is. She's like,
Thanks,
I would love to have you as my advertisement. I would have been monetized years. Nobody got there yet.
Yeah, she's the human face of the operation. Put it that way.
Yes.
Oh, we like your face. I'm telling you, Dave would buy you on whatnot.
Yeah. I actually tried using Opus Clips, which I don't know whether you know what that is, but you can take your long video and it's one of those programs you can just put it through and it'll actually do the AI thing and select little clips for you to make short clips. But they kept coming back with Octo's voice and my head because it would cut it down, you see, because it doesn't recognize him as a human face. So yeah.
Well, I'm not human. I've told you this before.
I know,
misconception that's going around the internet.
No, I rephrase that. It didn't recognize you as a living being.
I'm hurt, Granny. I'm hurt.
Yeah. What feeling? Yeah.
I was
about to say, John, wherever John is, John gets more coverage than I do.
Yes.
That's because he's just huge back there with his.
He's having a bit too much to say today, isn't he? Really?
I know he's been pretty quiet on that.
He's so transparent back there.
Well, that's right. If one thing, if anything, John is very see-through with all he does. So.
Yes, you can see exactly what he's doing. Yes, true.
That's exactly right. You know when he's up to no good. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for having me on. It was just awesome meeting all of you. I hope one day that we all meet in person.
Yes,
that would be great.
Yeah, all your hands.
It was good. Yeah. So it'd be good to go off shop or thrifting with people because I need to be led around by the tentacles. So people need to hold my hand.
Yeah, I better not say that.
Close together by any chance? Are you guys where you can get together?
Well, I'm in Bermuda.
Me and
Who would
Leanne
want to?
Kinda.
It's not nice.
I'll try to be nice once, Granny. I'll try to throw an international profile.
Oh, look, I'm sure it will happen. Australia's a big country, but there have been known to be get-togethers, and I do go to Ballarat occasionally, so I'm sure I'll be, letting some people down there know that I'm coming, and we might be able to, because I had here's some exciting news too, boys and girls. Guess what Grumpy Granny got on the weekend?
More medication.
No, I got a second GoPro, so my battery won't run out and I'll be able to do loads more videos, but it also came with a gimbal. How's that for Flash?
Yeah.
Ooh. So
no more wobbling all over the place.
You're going to force me to watch more videos now. Yay.
Yeah. And I won't have to worry about, like, you know, looking like I'm going like this. All the everything.
Maybe people might like duck cam.
Mm.
Do you like the GoPro better than, like, I usually use my camera, like on my phone?
Yeah, I like the GoPro only because it can be really inconspicuous. So what I've done is my Grumpy Granny shopping trolley. I've actually adapted the bike handle holder for the GoPro, and I have it attached to the trolley. And so I just push the trolley along.
You know what they call that, Mary?
Well.
You know what they call that, Nana? They call that Nanocam.
Nanocam, yeah. And I also have a little clip that attaches to it. And if I can't take the trolley in, I can just clip it on my clothes. But the only trouble with that is you do get the wobble. So, yeah, the gimbal will be fun to do a little bit with. That'll be more conspicuous, though. Mm.
I was going to get a GoPro for thrifting trips and stuff, but I'm too shy. Like, I feel like because I'd want to put it on my chest or something like that, so I've got my hands there and everyone can see. But I mean, I get weird looks as it is with my phone going around, like filming stuff. But I don't know if I walked into a Savers or something with a big GoPro. Like,
how you get around that, Blake, is to wear an Iron Man mask and just tell people you're cosplaying as Iron Man.
Yes,
true. Yeah. I identify as Iron
Man.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And see, I don't use the chest harness because it's. Let's just say when you're full breasted,
old lady issues.
It's not a good look. So I'm giving the chest plate a miss. Thanks, GoPro, for designing such a shit harness. Mm.
This is why you don't work with old people, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh no. See, I've been there with my camera, and I'm pretty inconspicuous when I'm doing it because it's like one of the better ones, so it has a really good camera, and I don't really have background sound. It's pretty good. I was sitting there, and I had two older women, like twice it happened to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yes."
You're talking to yourself.
See, I don't know. I don't know if you've seen any of Grumpy Granny's earlier videos, but when she walks into the thrift store, she yells out, "I'm here to film," like really loud. So everyone's being they turn the music off in the background.
Yeah, look, I've been really lucky actually, because most places that have noticed that I've been filming have said, "Oh, is that a camera, or you do what?" And I'll say, "I've got a YouTube channel," and I go into op shops and walk around and have a look at them, and they, "Oh, that's really good." Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had some of them go, "You should have told us you were coming in. We would have dressed and did our hair." I'm like, "Okay, I don't. This is what I'm usually in. I'm usually in a ball cap. This is how I go. I mean, it's like I'm usually out with a ball cap. Very few people see me with my hair down, which is good.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, because I've also got the head thing that you can put on with the GoPro, but you see it won't fit over my rollers, so I can't use that either.
You could connect it to the one roller.
Wow.
He's gone.
He's chucked himself
Made him sad.
Yeah, he's chucked himself out of the line.
Have fun, Blake. You're going down with the team. You're going down with the ship.
That's right. Your new host. Hello. I'm Octo.
Yeah. I am that. Say it. Go on, say it. And I can use it for a bit of a cutting thing. Say, I am actually Octo.
There you go. I am actually the disgruntled octopus. There you go. It's been revealed. Yes.
No, I'm the disgruntled octopus.
We are all the disgruntled octopus. There you go.
Mary and I have the closest voices, I think.
Oh, yeah. Here, hold on. I can change that real quick.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, when Grumpy Granny goes mad at me off air, her voice change very quickly as well.
Well, yeah, it's interesting when I would do the little editing with the videos, because it took me a while, and then all of a sudden I thought, because I'm zooming in and zooming out on the faces, and then I actually realized I didn't have to worry about that, because I can just use the same picture of Octo the whole time and just substitute the audio.
Well, I'm not actually here. This is pre-recorded. I just bobbed my head around a few times and just did the audio after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
And so this is actually trick editing by Grumpy Granny herself. That's why you can see Blake and Octo in the same film.
Exactly.
Are you eating those nummies? How about you lean down? Are you eating nummies?
Oh no! Let's just make sure that my AirPods aren't falling over. I got them plugged into my ear. I don't know if you can see.
You know he's sneaking a treat. You know he is.
Yeah.
I'm not a dog.
In the United States, we call it treat.
Yes, I know. We give to our
Humans
dogs
also.
treats.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I
give
know.
our dogs treats.
Yeah.
God.
I think we're pretty close. That was a 2 hours
2
of
hours.
non-stop reselling content. I think.
Yes.
I think we only spoke about reselling for about 10 minutes.
I know. I think
Yeah,
we're
more
giving.
than that.
I think we're giving Trash the Cash a run for their money about things that talk about not about bloody reselling.
Yeah, not inconsequential, but yeah, non-related stuff.
Well, that's right. Well, like I said, it was an international thing, and we've more than achieved that goal. So, which is good.
We did.
But
Yeah.
thank you
I really
so much
hope
for
that you
coming
get
on,
a couple
Mary.
of them here on your podcast, because that would be really great.
Yeah, it would be
I'd
good.
love to see Dave, ADH Dave, come over here. I would, because
Well, he said to us when we.
at Octo all day going. Yeah,
Well, Dave said to me that if we get to 1,000 podcasts, he'll think about coming on. He's even higher than Gary V. Gary V said he'll come on at 500.
who's going to come on at 500?
Gary V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard the name. I've never watched the. No.
Yeah. Blake knows who he is. He's very excited down in the bottom corner.
Yeah, I know about him. I was on an American podcast once, and she was asking me all about Gary Vee, because it's the only reseller that I knew of. Because it was a podcast about small YouTubers and stuff. It wasn't about like, this is before I hit 1,000 subs and stuff like that. And yeah,
I thought it was
about
a YouTube channel about bad facial hair, mate.
Oh yeah, no, I'd have been back then, you see. So it was a bit more full. But...
So it wasn't 70s adult film related.
No.
Yeah, because that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
My God.
Grumpy Granny's going to put some select music on your backing track, mate.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited. I'm not releasing that content yet.
Well, that's right. Well, we'll put it this way: you won't have me as an OnlyFan.
Come on, you should be supporting your creators.
I'm creating my own channel, Only Tentacles.
My own tentacles.
Only Tentacles.
Only tentacles instead of
Well,
OnlyFans.
I was going to say, I'm not letting Grumpy Granny promote it after this morning's gaff.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bad. That was purely accidental too. But
I'm
anyway.
pretty sure it was.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I think we
There you
better
go.
start wrapping things up. But
We
thank you very
better.
much to Mary and Blake. I'll put your
Yes.
channels in the description below. So we've got 365 Vintage Hunter and Life of a Reseller. Not to be confused with Lifestyle Reseller, which I constantly get YouTube
Yes.
confused all the time.
Yeah.
We've got another reseller that has a very similar, tag to Blake, and she contacts me fairly often because we live close together. And I keep thinking it's Blake, so I speak to Blake a lot differently than when I speak to Sam. So and she's like, it's not Blake, Josh, and we go from there.
I've been tagged a few times as that before, and I'm like, what am I getting tagged in here for? It was one thing. It was like, I really appreciate all your help, Lifestyle Reseller, and I'm like, I've never spoken to you in my life.
Well, look at Grumpy Granny last night calling everyone with a big head. Jeez, she was going rogue last night.
Yeah, you came up on my thing with someone different as well.
That was funny. Yeah.
Grumpy Granny was declaring war on every reseller that was in her.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you go on Instagram, but when you go into your messages and there's the little pictures up the top, and you can put a little note in there now. And so usually the next one next to me, because we message a lot, is Octo. So I put, he's got a big head with an arrow pointing. And of course, not thinking that on other people's Instagrams, it's not going to come up in the same order. So here's me with saying he's got a big head to all these random people. Yeah.
Just insulting all of Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. We did, a couple of Americans got insulted. I had John insulted, and
well, look, any publicity is good publicity, they say.
well,
Hey, it's better than misogynist puss.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I might have to trademark that and just make my own clothing line.
Oh, God.
There is a severe lack of clothing for octopuses out there. You know that.
Yeah.
Like, why did you let this American on?
They're probably going to be thinking the same for you. It's like, why the hell did you go on there?
Yeah. Crazy.
But, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So make sure you tell all your friends about us, and make sure you help Granny get to her coveted 1,000 subscribers before she passes away, which is probably not too far along by how old she is. But thank you very much, Mary.
As I said to him, if I do pass away, I'm going to haunt him for years.
There's nothing wrong with
Mm.
She doesn't know that I've got a ghost gun.
Just come back as a great white. Just come back as a great white shark. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah, or dolphins. Dolphins are the mortal enemy. But anyway, I think we better wrap it up because we're getting a bit hallucinogenic towards the end of this episode.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anyone's watching now anyway.
No, that's good.
I think we went up here at nighttime, almost at midnight. So.
Well, I better let you get back to bed then, Mary. But thank you very much for coming on, both to you and Blake. And like I said earlier, we'll put the description down the bottom, and we'll catch you all next week.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No worries. Good on you, mate.
Y'all have a good night now.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you later.